the first question I have is actually to Adriano, and please everybody feel free to engage here. When we look at how the biostimulants contribute to the overall sustainability, we've just heard in terms of the LCA that the biostimulants have to be as efficient as a reduction of 3% of peat. So when we look at this and combining this with bio-based fertilizers, is this achievable today, or what do we need to do to demonstrate this better?
Well, I get it. With the product, the solutions available today, the goal of enhancing the household efficiency is achievable, clearly. So, but I'd say my presentation, the key is to precisely define how to use the tool. So if I go back to the presentation of Mr. I don't know the name from Rouillet.
Yeah, right.
Technical products, that's exactly what I mean. Solutions that need a far more precise application methodologies. Therefore, industry and science have to be closer to the farmers. Because the farmers are using the solutions which are use and forget. This is not the case anymore.
Well, perhaps that's a question to you, Sylvain, also. When you were speaking about the need of NPK and fertilizers to become more technical, and if we look at that, technical means also more complex in communicating and understanding. What initiatives do you think need to be taken, and maybe it's also a question to Leon, to train the farmers to not only kind of understand, to make this niche to norm accelerated in terms of understanding, in terms of making a very complex technical item simple to implement, to use, and to understand, and to be communicated?
Yes, I think there are problems with mineral fertilizer. You know exactly what happens if you put 10 kilos of eggs on the land. And with organic fertilizer, we don't know. Because the mode of action is different. It depends on soil life, it depends on temperature, it depends on crop, it depends on region. So where we need to go is to make it easy for farmers. And let's say you have this crop and today this is the temperature, and probably we need more real-time information on the site where you are, and combine that into, again, easy to use, spread it out how much application fertilizer.
So how does Group Rouillet deal with this complexity of communicating these innovations that you're working on?
My point of view that we have to choose our targets, our issues. You know, we can just say that bio-based it's a global target. We have to clearly define the main agronomical challenge, where the situation and where the bio-based products have a crucial advantage and big impact compared to commodities. You know, we where the physical and chemical properties of soil are limiting a lot the P use efficiency. We have some cases where the water eutrophication is the key point. We have some location where the organic matter is very, we have too much organic matter, so how to use that differently. But definitely, I think that we have to address dedicated and specific purposes, and not just to say that bio-based it's enough as target. So I'm sure that even if it's recycled, we could use such noble recycled raw materials with the same less efficiencies compared to mineral raw materials. So we have to avoid that. If we use noble raw materials or raw organic materials or recycled sources, we have to use them with carefully, you know, very carefully, dedicate on specific community issues. So it's my main purposes. And I'm sure that in this case, such project could give a big advantage, permitting to have a global return of investments, included positive environmental effects, beneficial benefits, and so on. So if not, it will be just quantities, how much, price, and return investments as usual. So, and in this case, I think it's not a short-term topic.
It's for sure a complex issue that we're addressing here. I'd like to kind of take the focus on the future. We talked about a little bit of the hurdles, challenges, and limitations that we're facing today. Maybe we can look at two aspects, maybe the challenges and the barriers that exist to a widespread adoption of biostimulants. And as we heard from Leon earlier, that while demand probably will outstrip supply in terms of bio-based fertilizers, and I'd like to understand how would the biostimulants kind of perhaps aid or strengthen the case for bio-based fertilizers in mainstream agriculture?
Okay, so we have two things. I think we have a release of nutrients, so when we release, and we have the use of the nutrients, so losing keeps efficiency. And I think biostimulants could help on both of these actors. So could we steer release to the moment we need it, and could we improve the nutrient use at that moment with biostimulants? Which would mean that we need less kilos of fertilizer. But we need lab to find out what to do.
I'm glad we're here. Adriano?
Yeah, that's the key, because as I told Leon said a few minutes ago, I mean, first I would repeat myself. Know your bio-based fertilizer very well. Know the kinetic, the dynamic of nutrients availability, because that's the crucial factor. And follow during the season, because that's, if you know that, then you can support the plant nutrient uptake. If you don't know that, you are in the dark. Biostimulants can target both the soil system and the plant per se. Can act in different aspects, can move, can upregulate the transporters, for example, of the nutrients, therefore make the nutrients movement faster from the roots to the leaf. Can enhance the nitrogen fixation of the nitrification processes. They can be positive or even negative. Because if it's too much, then you have leaching. If it's too slow, you have less uptake. So these specifications are crucial. The information, this know-how is crucial to precisely use both tools in the right way. But it's possible, it's realistic. There are systems to understand in real time how is the temperature, water going, and therefore, and the plant's phenotyping, how it's going, and therefore you understand in which phase are your crops, and then you can forecast your applications.
I like when you say, you know, being in the dark, you know, if we go from the dark to the light, Marc, what role would the LCA play in identifying these areas of improvements? Because we, of course, it's the sanity check of everything that we do here. How can this be used for future improvements?
Yeah, so we are looking mainly at the production of these fertilizers. I think LabLab is looking at the efficiency of their application, and we do the same, but further upstream in the production process, we are looking at the efficiency of production and to further minimize in the production process the impacts across various input categories. And what's typically done, this is using a hotspot analysis, as I've also shown, to show the places in a process where you can make maybe easy gains, but in the first instance where the major impacts come from, and then work with the partners of the projects or future projects to see whether alternative products, alternative ingredients could be used, like alternative energy sources, like alternative feedstocks, whether ethanol or glucose or something like that. We could then assess their respective impacts in various input categories, and by that further reduce the environmental impact and not just shift the burden of impact from one to the other, from an improved fertilizer to somewhere else upstream in the supply chain. So we're taking the supply chain view and trying to make better, improve the process from an environmental point of view.
I see that we're closing in on the final minutes of our seminar. I'd like to pose the final question, which is double-barreled to each one of you. So I'd like to understand kind of in terms of your fields and areas and bio-based fertilizer, biostimulants, where will we be in 5 or 10 years? And if you had one wish to make that 5 or 10 years rosier, what would that be?
So this will be a much more adoption of bio-based fertilizers across the board. And my wish would be that we can somehow bring all the knowledge and all the data there is in an integrated view. Because everything we discussed today, don't ask an average greenkeeper or farmer to follow that. So we need to be very modern today. We need this artificial intelligence that supports our users, bringing all the knowledge together.
Yeah, well, we will for sure in the near future, it's already happening, be more and more, have the farmers more and more adopting this solution. That's the fact. Also because in the agriculture, there is a lot of me too. What is my neighbor doing? Why is doing that? I also that. So this, direct communication is also working in the market. The same, my wish is to, and not only my wish, our wish, it's also we are working for that, is to integrate industries. Because only in the integration between fertilizer producers, biostimulant producers, biocontrol producers, you can really enhance the efficiency of the crop system. Otherwise, everybody is selling a simple solution. And then, so that to me, a change in the industrial mentality has to happen. And there, and from that point, farmers can really profit to a combination of portfolio, a diet, I would say, for the crop. That's the next frontier.
It's a little awkward question,
no,
but I think you have an answer for it.
I have an answer. It's not about the answer, but I was very intrigued by the presentation of Leon. So I think the challenge for bio-based fertilizers, organic fertilizers in general in the future will be to find a way that we are not trading one evil for the other. We are looking at byproducts that are somewhere coming free in a complex system in our economy. And as we have seen with first generation biofuels, we are not just wanting to shift the burden from now utilizing the waste stream that has been used for feed, for food, or energy crops, and shifting it away from there and causing then problems in another sector, be it the energy or the food supply sector. We need to find bio-based fertilizers and organic fertilizers, need to find their niche and need to show that we can divert these waste streams, these byproducts, and make better use of them than other alternative uses, then maybe an energy use. Is it better to use it as a fertilizer or to digest it and produce biogas? These questions need to be answered, and they can be answered through an LCA approach. For instance, to say, yeah, let's not shift our byproducts to digestion, but make it a fertilizer, improve our food chain, etc. And that, I think, will be the real challenge, because in our economy, all byproducts are virtually used, and there are very few that are still exploitable. And when there are some, we need to find those and further exploit. The struvite is a good example. So far, struvite has not been, or the iron phosphate sludge has not been utilized in agriculture in many cases. But here, struvite is really tapping into a new resource of phosphorus. And there we can increase our potential. So we need to find those. And if we don't find them, we need to avoid the shifting of the burden in our economy.
Thank you. And then I guess it's my last wish, and where I see this going in 5 or 10 years. So my wish is really for continued funding into the research and innovation for these initiatives. SUSFERT has come a long way to demonstrate that there's a number of feasible solutions that will make a direct impact on society, on technology developments, on industry. So more of these researchers and initiatives are more than welcome. The other wish I have, de facto behind that, is that you keep following us on social. Tune in. We're actually presenting at the EU Industry Days in Malaga next week in front of the European Commission. some of our findings and initiatives to foster more dialogue and provide more opportunities for other initiatives and activities. So the other good news I have to share is that there will be an extensive conference on the final results and findings, outcomes, prototypes leading to products later in the year. Sign up to our newsletter, you'll get the feed, check us out online, stay up to date, and hope to see you soon again. Thank you so much to our speakers and panel and for the viewers, and stay safe and see you next time. Goodbye.